Okay. Hi, I'm Paul, and by the time this is released, it is the new year, and right now I'm with Isabelle Thye, and I'm doing this to make a special feature of Plusma-cast to, on the one hand, to reflect our first year of being on YouTube, and also to perhaps tell more story of where this is going. Okay, and yeah, so normally I interview people.
Yeah.
But for the sake of this special, I've got a friend here, Isabelle Thye. She has her own YouTube, and she will interview me.
Yeah.
Okay.
Looking forward to that.
Okay. But first, a bit about your channel.
All right. So basically, I have my own podcast as well. It's called Own Your Story, and I interview people whom I think is very interesting. They either believe in something or they have overcome very unique challenge in life, and they just overcome challenges. And I want to highlight the human spirit in my podcast. So today I think it would be great as well for me to get the story out of you. It's like, why out of everything you start a podcast channel, and what's your belief and what's your plan in the future?
Right. Right.
Yeah.
Very good. So this will be featured on both Plusma-cast channel and Isabelle's channel, Owning Your Story.
Yeah.
Okay. But again, this time it's about me. So
yeah, you
can.
Yeah, I'll let you enjoy talking today.
Okay. So let's start with the questions.
Let's dive into your question. Dive into your story about Plusma-cast. First of all, I would like to know what Plusma-cast is all about and why is it called Plusma-cast?
Okay. So Plusma-cast as a purpose.
Yeah.
Okay. Plusma-cast as a purpose is me. It's a reflection of my own story that I was working professionally in construction industry as as an architectural staff, but I had a lot of challenges.
Yeah.
And I eventually stopped. So what do you do next? And reflecting back, it's look, all these trouble, a lot of difficulty, a lot of challenges, but instead of being very moody, maybe you could say, I won't say depressed, but I would say that you feel very down.
Yeah.
You feel very down.
I would say depressed mode.
Yeah.
Like the mode. Yeah.
So it took a bit of not so much soul searching, but it took a lot of referencing, looking up
I
other
see.
people's, looking up for ideas, and eventually the reflection came to me that if my situation is perhaps not unique, and to then turn it around and say, look, how might I change the situation so that it's something that I can work to and help other people? Okay, so that's how it came about. But the original question is, what is, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so what is Plusma-cast? Plusma-cast is a channel, and hopefully I want to grow it into a brand whereby I help people get into creative industries. Okay, and to take it from idea to skills to vocation. Okay, that's that's in a nutshell of what it's trying to do.
Right.
Okay, and the one is what's in the name?
Yeah. Why Plasma?
Okay,
cast?
so Plusma-cast was the name Plasma. The idea was actually when I had the idea of I got seriously professional about doing architecture. That I will open my own firm. So Plasma was actually a short form or acronym.
Yeah.
But since doing the channel, it's changed a bit to be Paul Lau Urban Studies, Media and Arts.
Wow. I see. So it has that long hidden meaning behind it.
Yeah.
All right. And so just like you mentioned, it focused solely on creative industry and creative professionals. Is there a specific reason? Because right now, I would say out there, it's technology is more sexy. And why creative industry?
Okay, so number one, it's because I come from a creative industry. So it's something that I can relate well or communicate well or even speak the language. Okay? And on the other hand, it is a lot of creative industries, be it graphics, be it design, be it fashion, be it theatre, be it music and literature and such, is a lot of, you can do a lot on your own. But at the same time, on the one hand, you can do a lot on your own, but I think after developing skills, people, there's not necessarily the industry support or the skill support to help you, push you along the way. My general impression is that after you leave the learning and you get into and you try to, and you get into professional, it's sometimes not there.
I see. So
there's a bigger picture to not only communicate stories, which is what I'm doing now, but to build, to build a brand that helps people in this journey to become successful professionals in the creative industry.
I see. So for you personally, how do you define creativity?
Okay.
And what is creativity to you?
Okay, for me, in terms of Plusma-cast formally, I shortcut it. There's a definition of a certain funding agency which says, okay, creative is defined categorically as design, content, media, fashion or design, graphics, fine arts, performing arts, and culinary. So if it's within this category, which is actually still quite broad internally, so categorically these are the pillars.
Right.
But internally, for example, in film, I'm looking out for, I would cover the story of filmmaker, which I've already done. But I also want to, but to make a successful film product, there's still people like makeup, like costume, like, the sound or the editing. So there's a pillar of what it is I'm trying to cover categorically, but internally, I want to share all these little stories that help make it together.
I see. So is there like a core message that you want to deliver to the audience through this channel?
The core message is very simply, if you want to get into creative industry, no matter what component of it you take, I just want to help you along the way to understand that, what is the idea of the vocation? How might you learn it? How might you learn the skills that come into it, and what to expect? Okay? Success might be, hey, it's a million unit selling album, or is it just the guy who's done the best of a sound editing job, or maybe it's the guy who says, hey, I jammed with this fella.
I see.
I jammed with this now star because I helped him get his first gig. That kind of thing. So success is not necessarily about what, success may not necessarily be the celebrity. It's a bonus to me if it happens. But to help the people have their daily successes, that's the key thing of the message. Help you have your daily successes in your creative work.
All right, so in the process of creating this podcast, have you faced any major challenges, like any obstacle that you have to overcome?
Okay, so the biggest obstacle I had to overcome was myself.
Right.
Okay? Because when I started it, I made a few episodes, called a few friends, and once I put it out, I go, okay, what next? And it took me a while to realize that, okay, how do I find my next show?
The next guest.
Yeah, the next guest, next show. And eventually it was just, it could simply be said, just do it. But more significantly, you not be afraid to get out of your head.
Get out of your head.
Yeah, get out of your own head, your own doubts, your own insecurities or fears. Yeah. And just do what is necessary to make things happen. So in the case of, okay.
Do you have any tips?
Okay.
Like to get out of the fear? What do you tell yourself? What's the process?
It took a bit of repeating it to myself to say that, hey, we are at home, not much is happening, you want to do this, and you got to take your action.
I see. So it's self-talk.
It's self-talk, but it's self-talk that was inspired by a couple of other icons that I have that I've been following, and they just simply say, "Just do it."
All right.
But so when you think of just doing it, it then translates to, okay, what type of action? And the action that started working to rebuild that momentum to make sure this thing goes is I was chasing events, chasing people, and networking,
Right.
so that I might not necessarily find the person I want to view, but more significantly is you be open to then whether you find the person directly that you want to feature, or they can link you in, they can intro you in.
I see. So from your experience of interviewing, I think about 10 people at least.
We are now up to 14.
Yeah, 14. So from your experience from like communicating with these people, is there any tips that you can share with us to get the yes?
Okay, what type of tips are you looking for?
I don't know, in terms of communication, why do people say yes to you?
Okay, so why people say yes to me?
And what do you find is the common trait that convince people?
Okay, so the things that have worked and hasn't worked.
Right.
So I do this rather structured. Maybe it's because of my background in architecture. So I send emails directly. I've sent emails directly to people, and that didn't quite work. What definitely seems to have a higher chance is that you have engaged them personally. So that's why I'm quite I'm quite out there chasing events, because people people recognize or people associate when they see who you are. Okay, they meet you, you're a nice guy or nice lady, and they think, and the message you communicated to them, they can go, hey, I think it's a good message. So then they come on board. So to put it out in simple points is, number one, they've met you in person and they see your personality. Then they've seen your message. And with that, then they come on board.
I see. All right. So like throughout the 1 year, so it has been almost 1 year.
Yep.
Yeah. So how has you evolved as a host and also as a person in this process?
To be honest, I'm still quite amateurish about this.
Okay.
I'm still quite amateurish.
We are always learning.
Yeah, I'm still quite amateurish. Still learning. But what I recently have noticed, or what recently I feel, is that I'm on the right track. Now, definitely, there's still things to learn, like skills or technology. I mean, one of the big picture items is that I have a studio so that I can present properly in peace and in a and make my guests look better. Okay, so however, to come back is how have I evolved? The evolution is that because I have to pursue this. This is what I want to do. I have to pursue this, and there's a lot of you could say reinforcement, because people feedback to me positively, and that pushes me further on.
I see. So do you have any process of getting the best wisdom out of your guests?
Best wisdom, not necessarily. It's just I have a framework when I make my shows, okay? That I want to know their story from the idea, how they take idea into skills, and how they take skills into vocation. So when I let, it's not so much that I extract, it's I let them. Maybe there is something insightful that I just poke a bit more, and they can tell, and they tell the story. But generally, I let them.
All right. But my question is more like, how do you find that story out, like pinpoint?
How do I pinpoint the story?
Yeah.
Or how do I find
something that makes the person tick?
Okay. Generally is you just ask.
Right.
Okay. Now, you might ask when you meet them,
Yeah.
you might ask them in the show. You know, you can't you. But the key thing is that you just be open-minded to people, because there's so many people on this planet. There's always there's a few billions of us, and each of them have their own story, their own nuance, their own experiences.
Yeah.
And when you meet them, they might reveal it.
Yeah.
They might not. But eventually, the key point is you let them tell it.
I see. Giving them the space.
Yeah, giving them the space. Like if it's something secret, they wouldn't tell it anyway. But if it's something that they are willing to share, then you just poke him a bit to say, hey, it's safe to tell. Or it's something that I hope you can use to inspire other people. That challenge, that personal challenge is then the information, the inspiration to help people make a better decision.
I see. So throughout the journey, like after interviewing 14 creative professionals, have they changed any of your perspective about the creative industry? Has that made any big impact in your own worldview?
Okay, so there's a few specific cases.
Yeah.
For example, like one of my episodes, Richard Ong, he explains that what is value. Okay, that's a big lesson to me. What is value? So whether you go into the 9 to 5, which means that you pre-sell your value, or you go into entrepreneurship where you establish your value. And another insightful one is Julian Lee, a professional violist. And I learned that there's actually no such thing as geniuses. Okay, that it's people who have found that match of what they will do early on. Okay, yeah. And who else? There is, there's also a lot of personal missions. There's unfortunately a few episodes where I couldn't publish because of technical issues, but these are people with still very intense or very significant stories to say, look, I'm doing my creative work not only as a professional practice, but because I want to take it in a way to, again, help people unlock themselves.
Yeah. Or have you discovered any, like, the key to unlock creativity from these guests?
Not really. Not really. Not really. Sometimes it's being mentored in 9 to 5. Sometimes it's overcoming a great personal challenge. Sometimes it is, just taking action of what they already do. And sometimes it's conflicting with, and sometimes it's conflicting with, the reality of where they are versus what they actually want to do, and sometimes putting it off until it gets triggered again much later. So is there a common thread? It's a bit tough to say. Yeah. Is there a common thread? It's a bit tough to say. What I can say about a specific common trait is that these people never really gave up on their dream, their passion, their why.
The pursuit.
They might put it off years later and pursue it, or it might have always been in them, but but expressed in a different way.
Right.
So they never really gave up on that passion.
All right. Okay. Since this is a special edition that marked the beginning of 2019, let's share about something you learned, like important lesson from last year. Frame it in a way that what are the things that you wish you know when you started?
What things I wish I know when I started?
Yeah.
Probably one is to probably get out my own fears. Okay, it took. So I started Plusma-cast in January and thinking that I would, push it to be able to produce every week. But the number of episodes is actually much short. So there was a lot of gap time of me trying to get out of my own fears or getting out of my own doubts. And if I knew earlier, the problem wasn't so much how I got out of my doubt, how I got out of my fears and doubts.
Yeah.
It's identifying the source.
Mm.
That's what I needed a bit of help with. But when that was explored and found to its core, then okay, just act. You feel a bit freer to act. You feel a lot freer to act.
All right, so what would be your advices for young and driven graduates who wish to embark on the creative journey?
Okay, so I've gotten various types of advice. For example, the musicians would say, just go at it, just play, just shred, just perform. As in, so, and for the artists, they would just say, keep drawing, present it to somebody, have a look at it. So, if I were to sort of like structure it, one is practice your craft, refine your craft, and also validate your craft. So maybe it's your peers, maybe it's an institution, or maybe it's mentors. Build yourself up to a level that people will recognize, okay, you've reached a certain level to present it to the next step. And whether you develop it over years, or whether you develop it quickly because you're so intensely, building your craft, developing your processes, it's all right. It's all right even when you start. You might start early, you might start late, but the most significant part about both Plusma-cast and about getting into the creative industry is developing your processes, your craft. Okay, might take a while. It might take a while. It might start late, but that is your focus.
I see. So, what would be the direction of Plusma-cast in 2019?
Okay, so the direction of Plusma-cast is to first achieve my first milestone, which is to produce every week. Okay, to feature a new guest every week. Another one is to perhaps do some international guests.
Wow.
Okay, either I mean, one of the ideas I have for Plusma-cast is the world tour.
Right.
Okay, maybe you go to a few international cities and just bring some people who are of the same certain creative industries. Okay, I'm trying to target one of my friends who is a professional freelance illustrator in Singapore, and I've been suggested to speak to Indonesian, performing artists who's crossing through Malaysia. So, the world tour is one of the ideas, because the message I want to get is not just about here in Malaysia. I mean, it's where I start, but I want to help as many people as possible through this brand, through this channel, worldwide. Okay. Another idea is to, another idea I have is to perhaps get a studio. Okay, because each of these channels is amusing, fun getting it done, but I think I need something more. You could say a better platform.
Yeah.
A better platform, so that I don't spend so much time not just arranging the guests, but arranging the place and such. This is unnecessary, but I mean, it's not probably unnecessary going forward, but it's a start that I have to do. Okay, so, and the third is to offer ways to help people through maybe further content, further branded content, or maybe even events where, hey, we're all in this together.
I see.
Or maybe this person will not just maybe it's not just you watch a video and figure out I can do this or not. It's maybe you see in person and ask away live.
All right. So with all this vision and big plan in the future, what is the impact that you want to make in this world?
Okay. In terms of what are the metrics or the metrics of impact, I haven't figured that out yet.
Okay.
What are the metrics or what are the metrics of the impact, I haven't figured out yet.
All right.
But hopefully it's just to grow as big as possible. go as big as possible, because one of the core messages, or one of the what is my why, is not just how I turn my down into probably a message that can help people.
Alright, help people in the sense that like get them into creative industry or like help them to sustain
Yeah.
in the creative industry.
You come into creative industry, and how do you sustain yourself? How do you become that professional? How do you build that career or vocation?
I see.
See, that's the end goal that I'm trying to help people. To tie in back into why. Okay, I've always been about figuring out how to help people. So back in my architecture days, it was maybe I build a quality building that people can use well. And further back in my architecture studies, I was thinking of cities, like how might I plan or develop or design a city that helps so many people. It's that skill which I've been always trying to find an impact for. Now it's perhaps media. Using media as the tool to help reach out to people and impact them, to say, if you want to get into creative industry, because it's a vocation that you can do on your own or collaborate, however you want to take it. And so let me help you take it from idea to skills to vocation.
All right, that will bring us to the last question.
All right.
So, as a creative professional yourself, what is your one big principle?
One big principle.
Yeah, as a creative professional.
I just mentioned it about
guiding principle. Yeah.
Okay, my guiding principle, one is that I just mentioned it just now, is about I have a personal mission to try and help as many people as possible. Maybe I wasn't clear about how. Okay, because first it was through design or the built environment, and now it's about media. So my guiding principle is that I just want to try and help as many people as possible. Okay, it's as simple as a message as that.
I see. Thank you for that. So that will bring us to the end of this conversation.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right. So, and first, thank you for participating.
No problem. It's my pleasure talking to you, and I wish you all the best in your adventure next year and in all the big vision, the big plans for the future. Yeah.
I mean, I may not necessarily get there. I might not necessarily get all of it in the year, but that's the vision.
Yeah, it's one step at a time, like what you say as well. It's always like the pursue it and then just stay in the journey, and you will eventually get where you want to go.
Yeah, I mean, the signs are there, the positive signs, the positive feedback signs are there, and yeah, just keep at it.
Cool. Will you link up our contact or something?
Yeah. So Plusma-cast right now is available on YouTube and minds.com. Okay. And this feature will also be on Isabelle's channel.
Yeah, it will be on YouTube and on Your Story Facebook as well. So we'll link it up down there somewhere. So thank you guys for listening to us.
And yes, I hope to see you in the next episode and subsequent following episodes of Plusma-cast too.
All right. Bye.
Thank you.
All right.